We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth.
Freedom is not merely a political menu option or a foreign policy fad. It should be the defining commitment of our country and the hope of the world.
Let's not forget that freedom is more powerful than fear. That we have always met challenges, whether war or depression, natural disasters or terrorist attacks, by coming together around our common ideals as one nation and one people. So long as we stay true to that tradition, I have no doubt that America will prevail.
I am proud
to be a citizen
of the United States of America.
And what does that mean to me?
I'm free.
I am free.
I am free.
And how do I know I'm free?
Because my freedom is protected by law.
I have the freedom to petition.
I have the freedom to practice my chosen religion.
I have the freedom of speech.
I have the freedom to keep and bear arms.
I have the freedom of assembly.
That's what freedom is to me.
That I feel safe to exercise the rights that I have.
Look, the Second Amendment really predates the Bill of Rights. Our founding fathers believed strongly in gun rights for citizens. Frankly, they thought it was an assumed right. They didn't put it in the Constitution because they didn't think it would ever be in jeopardy, but ultimately you saw attempts later on to take away gun rights, so they said it's so important, we're going to make it one of the 10 Bill of Rights constitutional changes. And so it is a long history in our country to make sure that you protect the rights of citizens to bear arms.
If you go all the way back to the beginning of our country's history, preserving the right to bear arms has always been important to protect our other rights.
If you recall, colonial legislatures were given many powers under the rule of Great Britain.
The colonists looked to these powers as rights.
However, it became increasingly clear that in the years preceding the Revolutionary War, that Great Britain had other ideas.
This fear of a controlling government is what prompted our founding fathers to create the Second Amendment.
They wanted to ensure security for all citizens through the right to protect themselves.
That way, if the government ever became corrupt, theoretically, the citizens would be able to fight back and defend themselves.
If no one can defend themselves, how hard is it for the majority to control the minority?
Anyone remember the Indian Removal Act?
Thousands of Native Americans were forcibly relocated to Indian reservations where many of them still remain today.
The Cherokee Indians even petitioned the U.S. government before removal, and they won the verdict from the U.S. Supreme Court in Worcester versus Georgia, which stated that they were a sovereign nation.
At the end of the day, though, President Andrew Jackson ignored the ruling and enforced his act.
So why didn't the Indians resist?
It all comes down to weapons. The most advanced technology that the Indians had were blowguns and tomahawks, which are no match against muskets and long rifles.
This extends even today. Those who have the most advanced weapons hold all the power.
We can link it to the Cold War with Russia.
Both nations were competing to see who could develop the most destructive weapon first.
In fact, the U.S. still has tension with Russia today over the matter of nuclear weapons.
It's a simple one. Nuclear is our greatest threat worldwide. Not even a question, not even close. So I'd like to de-nuke the world. I would like Russia and the United States and China and Pakistan and many other countries that have nuclear weapons, get rid of them. But until such time as they do, we will be the most powerful nuclear nation on Earth by far.
The United States is the most powerful armed force on the planet.
They no longer need the manpower from individual gun ownership like they did in the days of the Revolutionary War.
So citizens of the United States, where does that leave us?
Should we be fearful of oppression from our own government?